Hello, my name is Thomas, and today we're having a second look at the TT Artisan 50mm f2 lens. I already did a review on a Sony full-frame camera, and today I've got one mounted on this Fuji X-E4 APS-C. And also I've got, of course, the venerable 50mm f1.2 also from TT Artisan. These both work on APS-C. This additionally works on full-frame, this not. But today we are on a Fuji, so I can also do a direct comparison. Let's have a go. Disclaimer, this lens was provided to me by an Amazon retailer that sells a lot of those TT Artisan, 7 Artisan, Pergia lenses. Many thanks for the opportunity. They actually provided me with the Sony mount and I converted it myself to the Fuji mount, as I showed you already. So many thanks for that. And the 50mm f1.2 I did buy from my own money, I think 1.5 years ago. So that's my own lens. At first glance, using this lens on an APS-C camera maybe doesn't make any sense because you've got this f1.2 alternative. On the other hand, this lens is half the size, half the weight, well, roughly. This is 180 grams and f1.2 is about 340 grams. It's quite a difference, and depending on where you live on this planet, this lens also might be cheaper. However, in Germany I saw this lens for sale at a very good German photo dealer for 99 euros, and the f1.2 is 109 euros, so that's a difference of 10 euros, maybe it doesn't matter. But wherever you live on this planet, maybe the situation is different. Also shop around used, so maybe you also get a bargain deal on the f2 lens, and then all of a sudden it could make sense on APS-C. But it all depends on how good is it. So we're about to find that out now. In your hand, this is, fun fact, this is the same lens, the very same lens that I reviewed for Sony full frame, and I just exchanged the lens mount. If you've got another TT Artisan lens at home with the correct lens mount, you can always interchange them. It's just these 3 X screws, T5, and there are no electric contacts or anything else to worry about. And also the flange distance, yeah, the adjustment for that sort of sits in this lens ring. So this is now a Fuji lens. And as you see, it's very nice with a very small compact Fuji body like the XE series. And like every TT Artisan lens, it has this metal screw-on lens cap that looks beautiful, feels beautiful, but it's actually a pain in the ass to use. And aperture ring on the front, half click stops between 2 and 5.6, and then a full stop for 8, 11 and 16. And here is your focus ring. Focus is down to only 0.5 meters. That's not fantastic, but okay. They have a hard stop at infinity that you might want to adjust sometimes. For this, there are these small set screws here. So what you do is you set it on infinity, then you carefully loosen these screws. There are 3 of them, and then you can move the ring without changing the focus position of the lens. And then you tighten the screws again. Beautiful finish as always, and as you can see, this is the f1.2 lens, and now you kind of see how much bigger it is. So if you're shooting a big body like Fuji X T series or the XH maybe, then it doesn't matter, but on a small compact body, the f2 lens actually might make real sense because it's such a nice compact setup. I really like how well it is balanced. Let's do a brick wall test. Let's do 2 brick wall tests because there is something peculiar going on. The difference between close-up performance and performance at far distances of these 2 lenses is quite different. So first we have a wall here that's maybe 2.5 meters away, and I run all the apertures from open aperture to f8 with both lenses. Let's have a go. So what you see up close is that actually the 50mm f2 has a pretty impressive performance even at open aperture. The sharpness towards the borders of the frame isn't that bad and it sharpens up very nicely, whereas the f1.2 is clearly a bit weaker in that part. So if you want border performance, good border performance, you really need to stop down the f1.2 more than the f2 lens. But that's up close. Now let's go for a far away shot of something that's like a landscape or the cityscape across the river, something that's really, really far away. And then everything will be a bit different. So I found a beautiful piece of Cologne architecture across the river, the Rhine, which is like 400 meters away, for our distant brick wall shot, sharpness shot. Let's have a go. So as you see, at a far distance, the 2 lenses perform a little bit more similar. This lens, the 50mm f2, it's not perfect at far distances. You need to stop down your shots so that the borders and corners get decently sharp. That's kind of funny because when I reviewed this lens on the Sony, I already complained a little bit about the border performance in landscape situations, and now we see the same effect. People always think an APS-C lens, if you use a lens on APS-C, it has a better border performance because the actual borders of the image circle of the lens are cut because of the smaller sensor size. But on the other hand, you've got a much higher pixel density. I mean, this is 26 megapixels on APS-C, and that's just more pixels per real estate compared to 42 at full frame. So despite it being a full frame lens shot on APS-C, it still has some weakness towards the borders of the frame. Night shots. The lens does beautiful sun stars, but it's kind of important to bring a sunshade or shade with your hand in case there are any bright light sources close to the front lens element, as you can see in these pictures. Apart from image quality and size, the most obvious difference is, of course, the speed of these two lenses. So what we're going to do now is, Taka, the man behind the camera, is shooting a portrait shot with both of these lenses, this one at f2 and this at f1.2, and then you see the difference in bokeh that you get from these two lenses. Time for the verdict. So I shot this lens mainly on the Sony and now on the Fuji for a couple of days. And I have to say I really enjoy it in terms of handling, because it's so small and compact. Again, this is a beautiful rig on a compact Fuji E-body. Maybe it doesn't make sense if you're using a more massive body. Having said that, the performance even on APS-C is not 100% of what I would like to be, because remember the TT Artisan 35 f1.4? I did a review about that lens about 2 years ago. And that lens was just sort of fantastic, and I still think it's the best TT Artisan manual lens for all these mirrorless cameras out there. It has beautiful optics and it really delivers crisp and sharp images in every situation. This lens, despite it being a full frame lens that now used on APS-C, has some issues, far away shots, in terms of border and corner performance that I don't enjoy as much. I would think it could be more perfect, but having said that, of course, this is also a full frame lens. If you're shooting Sony and you maybe have full frame A7 body and an A6600 or something like that, full frame and APS-C bodies, you can use it on both of them. Maybe that's interesting for you. And remember, on APS-C, this is like a short telephoto lens, sort of a portrait lens. And again, we've got this one, the 50mm f1.2, and it's much faster, delivers much more bokeh. It is a bit weaker at close shots, but I think this is the more interesting lens for the APS-C camera, and this is the more compact lens. And in the end, I wouldn't buy both of them if I were you. This lens makes sense if you can pick it up for really low money, and it's beautiful. And if you value the compactness over everything else because you're traveling, then this also makes perfect sense. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting, maybe even useful. If you did so, then please leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, hit the small bell button for notifications, and again, many thanks for your support. I really appreciate that. In case you've got any questions or comments about these two TT Artisan lenses, just write something down in the comment section below. I love to read all your comments. I will happily answer every single one of them. So, have a great time. Live long and prosper, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!